Lunchtime news on this 5th day of December 2024. My name is Bentro Njoe and I'm also joined by Lucy Mwaura on the sign language interpretation, ready for a comprehensive live bulletin. Later on, we'll be having a comprehensive interview in regards to sustainable business practices, something that you do not want to meet, and all the latest action in the world of sports, and especially in the English Premier League last night. We begin on security matters where residents of Kolanya in Busia County have decried the rise in security cases, attributing it to an increase in illicit brew dens and bang businesses among the youth. The residents have cited the porous border as a contributor to the proliferation of illicit brew and bang from neighboring Uganda. According to Teso North Sub-County Police Commander Charles Chepkonga, Changadens and unlicensed casinos have been acting as meeting points for criminals, calling for the closure of all unlicensed liquor joints and casinos. Chepkonga, however, assured residents of their commitment to end insecurity in the region.
Mambo ya pombe haramu eradicate, mambo ya bangi, Wateso watoto hawakujua kuvuta bangi, lakini siku hizi wanatafuna bangi vile wanatafuna viazi. Kwa hivyo mtusaidie
nyinyi wananchi wa hapa kupitia community policy, kwa sababu nimeona iko hapa watu ya nyumba 10 na pia village elders, tukisaidiana machiefs tuungane kupigana na haya maneno.
Maafisa waongezwe hapa Kolanya kwa sababu we want to maintain that security within Kolanya as a general.
Elsewhere, gender and peace advocates in Kisii County have called for greater participation and involvement of women in decision-making processes to avert the perennial challenges faced by communities. During a meeting sponsored by the African Woman and Child Feature Services, a non-governmental organization, the gender and peace champions cited the insufficient association of women as the key contributor to the constant issues of divorce, separation, child negligence and exploitation.
Kufanya juhudi za kuleta hizi zote issues pamoja itakuwa kwa sababu ya kuleta amani huku, na itakuwa kwa sababu ya kuaddress zile challenges ambazo Kisii County inapitia kama gender based violence.
Tumepata mafundisho mazuri sana vile tunaweza kukaa vizuri kati yetu, mama na wazee na watoto yetu. Nashukuru kabisa kwa sababu kwa siku ya leo hata tukirudi nyumbani tutaongea na wenzetu kuhusu yale mazuri ambaye tumesoma siku ya leo.
And for our next story, we cross over to the county of Kiambu, where members of the county assembly have unanimously voted to suspend the debate and passage of the finance bill presented to them by the county executive. The move follows concerns raised by MCAs regarding several unresolved issues, particularly with bills that were previously passed but have not been acted upon by the executive. The bill introduced to the Assembly by Majority Leader Gabriel Musheke met stiff resistance from the MCAs, who cited a series of grievances that they felt must be addressed before they could proceed with any further legislative action.
Tulipitisha Rating and Variation Act amendments tarehe 3 mwezi wa 9 na tangu leo gavana hajaiweka sahihi. Tumesema hiyo lazima aweke sahihi kwanza kabla hatujapitishia pesa Finance Act ya kuokota pesa nyingine. Ya pili, tulipitisha Alcoholic Act mwezi wa 8, mwisho wa mwezi wa 8. Hata hiyo hajaweka sahihi.
The finance bill serves as a tool to charge people services. And the question we should ask ourselves, have we done services that we need to charge to Kiambu people?
Wana bunge wa Kiambu hatutakubali kuongezea tu watu wachajiwe, lakini hatuoni value of money.
Let's cross over now to matters agriculture, and for that we move to the great county of Kisumu, where my colleague Joseph Wahungu has been keeping tabs with the farmers there, and especially at the Ahero irrigation scheme, where he has been able to also be in touch with the Cereal Growers Association for a planting demonstration. And it's a new technology for seeding and especially for rice production. Wahungu, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Ben Troy Njue. Indeed, we're coming to you live from Kisumu County. This is Ahero, the irrigation scheme, indeed at the National Irrigation Authority Research Farm. And this is where today we are here to look at a very important technology. It's called the seeding technology. They'll tell us more about it. It's a technology whereby farmers now are able to, sow their seeds directly onto the ground compared to the common method whereby they used to do transplanting. And we want to know how economically viable it is. And to take us through that, we have experts on the ground who will tell us what they're telling farmers at this farm today. So good afternoon, sir. Welcome to KBC Live News. Tell us about this technology that you're introducing here. And first, start by introducing your name.
Thank you so much. My name is Oliver Nyongesa. I work for International Rice Research Institute. I'm a researcher. Today we are excited to converge with farmers here. We want to showcase direct seeded technology whereby farmers directly seed the seed instead of nursery establishment. Research has shown that direct seeded technology saves on water, which is a scarce commodity. Secondly, it cuts down on labor. We know rice is one notorious crop that it's a labor intensive. Thirdly, we've seen also on input, we reduce on inputs, and also we also have a higher yield by 30%. So this technology, if embraced, we are going to see improved production and for rice.
Well, thank you very much, Ben Troy. As you can see, those are the fields. You can see that is the technology that is being employed to ensure that the rice plantation can be economically feasible and viable for the people of Ahero. We have here with us, of course, one of the officials at the National Irrigation Authority who is going to speak to us and tell us about this type of technology that is being introduced here and how important is it for NIA that this technology is being introduced here. Welcome on site, sir. Tell us about your name and introduce the technology being talked about here.
Okay, my name is Kennedy Ouma. I'm the manager Western Kenya scheme, and this is a Ahero irrigation scheme. These are research fields where we are trying to demonstrate this kind of technology. And this kind of technology, which is direct seeding, actually is very important to us as an irrigation scheme, because mostly farmer here, there is a challenge of labor during the time of transplanting. But with this kind of technology, we realize that we are going to reduce that, even the cost of transplanting, the cost of water, and I've been told even the amount of these gases that is emitted into the environment. So as a scheme, we really support this program, and we are ready to collaborate with partners from CGA and IRI to be able to ensure that it is rolled out completely within the scheme. Thank you.
Ben Troy, before we wrap it up, please allow me to bring a person from the county just to tell us how they feel about this technology before we wrap it up. Good afternoon, sir. Tell us what the county has to say about this technology.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Michael Ochengowiti, working for the County Government of Kisumu, Department of Agriculture. Today we are showcasing the technology that is going to improve the life of our farmers. That is direct seeding of the rice seeds to the farm, and we hope that in the future our farmers are going to adopt this technology, and we hope that economically they are going to increase their yield and also to get a good return out of it. And we, as the county government of Kisumu, we welcome each and every stakeholder that are bringing a new technology to our farmers here in Ahero Irrigation Authority. Thank you.
That's why we wrap it up. Ben Troy Njue from Ahero Rice Irrigation Scheme, thank you very much. We'll be going back to you in the studio.
Thank you. That has been my colleague Joseph Wahungu there in Ahero, Kisumu, bringing us the new technology. It's called the direct seeding technology, and especially for rice farmers in that county, a new technology that reduces water usage, rice matures faster, and is not labor intensive, among others. Thank you so much, Wahungu, for that. Elsewhere, hundreds of casual laborers attached to Laikipia County Health Department are decrying non-payment of dues by the county government for more than 8 months. The workers who are attached to 63 dispensaries across the county said they had undergone untold suffering. Meanwhile, Laikipia County Chief Officer of Health, Dr. Timothy Panga, while acknowledging the delay, said that the health staff ought to be paid by their respective dispensaries.
Nimefanya kazi muda wa mwaka 15. Na hapo mbeleni tulikuwa tunapata mshahara kulingana na vile inaweza kuwa. Lakini siku hizi niko na mwezi 8 kabla sijalipwa. Sasa shida yangu inakuwa nyingi.
Kabla nimekaa kutoka mwezi wa 11 mpaka sasa sijapata mshahara. Hata wadani wangu wamekataa kunikopesha tena.
Kuwauliza sana mtu angalie, pia sisi tunahitaji hizo pesa, tunategemea hizo pesa. Tuna wazazi pia ambao tunaangalia, ambao ni wakongwe, hawawezi kwenda kazi mahali popote. So tungeomba sana mtutimizie hilo, ndo pia sisi tuweze kuendeleza maisha yetu.
To county number 14, Embu County, where healthcare sector has received a significant boost following a donation of ICT equipment and medical supplies worth 5.3 million Kenya shillings from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, Jamii Tekelezi program. The donation includes desktop computers, laptops, tablets, phones, and cancer screening gadgets, all set to benefit 33 healthcare facilities across the county. The program finance director, Moses Mukua, said the equipment will enhance diagnostic accuracy and improve timely patient data monitoring.
The introduction of this equipment will enhance the accuracy of diagnostics, improve timely data monitoring, because we have a lot of computers. We also have phones, we have tablets that we are giving today. We have some other equipment for screening for cancer. We are committed to supporting Kenya's health goals and working together to address emerging healthcare challenges, ultimately ensuring a healthier future for the people of Embu County.
And still on health, over 200 residents of Kina area Batula sub-county in Isiolo County have benefited from a medical camp courtesy of a program dubbed Afya Bora Mashinani. The program seeks to improve access to specialized healthcare services by attending to patients at the lower level facilities. The initiative was implemented courtesy of the United Nations International Children's Fund in collaboration with the county government of Isiolo. According to Dr. Dida Galma, the head of Kina Health Center in Isiolo County, the two-day healthcare outreach program will enable locals to access specialized services such as eye care, as well as screening for diabetes and hypertension. The resident lauded the move, calling upon the organizers to consider extending the same services to the neighboring areas in the region.
Kwa hii wodi yetu iko area nyingi hawakuweza kufika. Tunatarajia wafike kwa sababu hii shida ya macho imeweza tukumba kwa muda mrefu.
Tumetibiwa, tumeangaliwa na njia mzuri sana, tumefurahia. Hata wale wamefadhili hii kazi, sisi wenyeji wa Kina wametusaidia sana.
Going forward, this is just a start of our many engagements in Afya Bora Mashinani, We plan to scale up these outreach services to other health facilities.
In other news, over 700 youths drawn from Nakuru County have benefited from a gender-based violence training organized by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The program, dubbed Pathfinder Campore, aims to equip boys and girls with vital knowledge and life skills while challenging traditional gender norms and stereotypes.
Speaking at the training, Pastor Lazarus Lelenguya highlighted the positive impact of the training, noting that many girls have managed to go back to school and continue with their studies. He also called on the government to prioritize the implementation of policies designed to combat violence against women and girls, address crime, and reduce inter-community conflicts, all of which are crucial in safeguarding the well-being of young people.
Government have been promising to assist our youths and to assist those who are with our youths. But majorly when it comes to facilitation, when it comes to having personnel, we find ourselves vulnerable, we find ourselves palpable, that we are not able to have such people who the government is really putting in place to make sure that our youths are well equipped.
The lessons that we are doing here is that we are training that everybody in the society is equal. There is no one who is bigger than the other one. There is no one who is superior than the other one. So we should respect each other. And we maintain the values of the family, whereby we uphold values, Christian values. When it comes to gender-based violence, it is illegal and it's not allowed in our church.
Meanwhile, a program has been launched in the coast region to empower women and combat cases of gender-based violence that are on the rise in the region. The program, spearheaded by Sauti ya Wanawake Pwani, focuses on economically empowering women through chicken rearing projects as well as continuing to raise awareness about GBV.
Kwa sasa hivi kuna mashirika tayari, vikundi 8 ambavyo tayari tumeweza kuvipa vifaranga na wanaendelea kulea vile vifaranga, ambavyo katika kila kundi tumewapa vifaranga 100, ambao vifaranga wale 100 wanapokuwa wakubwa, kundi lile litakuwa lina takriban ya 100,000 ya pesa.
Wamama tukiwezeshwa itakuwa vizuri, tutaweza sisi wenyewe kujiinua, kwa sababu kama hivi ni mama, mimi nikiwa wakati huu niko na kama uchumi, niko na kama kuku nafuga, ni mbuzi nafuga au nalima na uza maboga, itakuwa ni rahisi mimi mwenyewe kujitegemea.
The initiative deems economic empowerment of women key in reducing their vulnerability to gender-based violence. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
Wildlife conservation now, where the Kenya Wildlife Research and Training Institute, WRTI, in conjunction with several partners, have concluded a 10-day census activity that involved data collection of wildlife in the northern zone of Kenya. WRTI Director Dr. Patrick Omondi said the exercise was vital as it provides information on the number of wildlife species to aid in proper planning, implementation and evaluation of conservation programs depending on the number and distribution of wildlife population. The wildlife census that takes place every 3 years, so the counting exercise takes place in the northern zone counties of Tharaka Nithi, Meru, Isiolo, Marsabit, Samburu and Laikipia.
Really looking forward to the final census results at the end that will be able to tell us the impact of the ecological shocks that happened in 2022, the heavy drought that killed many species in this landscape, and also the impact of the floods we have this year.
Census that we are doing collaboratively with WRTI and other partners is of great benefit to us. And I will just say that the vision of Kenya Wildlife Service currently in our strategic plan is thriving wildlife, healthy populations for all, forever.
Moving on, human rights activists have called for respect of human rights and freedoms, adherence to the Constitution and better services to all Kenyans by the government. While celebrating 30 years of Kenya Human Rights Commission's existence, the human rights defenders decried increased cases of killings and abductions, especially the Gen Z protesters.
It was all song and dance as human rights defenders gathered to mark 3 decades of existence of the Kenya Human Rights Commission, dubbed 30 years of rights and fights. The human rights body, originally registered in the US in 1992 by Kenyan political exiles and in Kenya in 1994, recognized notable human rights figures including Willy Mutunga and Timothy Njoya, among many others. They reflected on the journey in the fight for rights over the years.
And the struggle for rights, make no mistake about it, is a struggle about fights. Fights about identity, about power, about resources.
The speakers calling for accountability on the part of the police over the killings and abductions of the Gen Z protesters.
As leaders come and go, they fail to remember that leaders have come and leaders have gone, and those same leaders, as much as they thought they were better or they were bigger than the Constitution, they're the same ones that still run to the courts thereafter.
The human rights bodies also said they will not shy away from actively participating in politics to sensitize Kenyans to elect better leaders.
Human rights is politics. You cannot be non-partisan with oppressors, with fascists. You cannot. You must be partisan. And you must always be able to choose the lesser of two evils in pragmatic politics.
Macau came over, he met Raila Odinga, Kalonzo separately, met Kalonzo Musyoka separately. Kalonzo had an insider helper. Macau was kind of the insider helper with Raila Odinga. There was a very, very difficult negotiation, and that negotiation is what brokered the election formation called CORD.
They further demanded streamlining of services by the government, including healthcare and education systems for Kenyans. Give us Minor Lunchtime News.
And away from that, 52-year-old Richard Akama is calling on relevant authorities to come to his aid as he struggles to claim his compensation for severe injuries he sustained in the line of duty. He claims his former employer has failed to complete paying him the compensation awarded, making it difficult for him to continue with treatment for the injuries. Take a look.
It's been 9 years since Richard Akama almost lost his life when he sustained severe burns while carrying out his duties as an excavator operator at Impresa Construzioni Giuseppe Maltauro SPA.
Nilikuwa nafanya na kampuni moja inaitwa ICG Maltauro Limited, ambayo ilikuja ikabadilisha jina ikaitwa ICM Maltauro SPA Maltauro.
He painfully narrates how his life has not been the same ever since.
Hii ugonjwa yenye nilikuwa nayo ilinibidi hata kuna wakati hata nilijipata niko moja, wengine wengi hawajui kama niko hai. Mimi mwenyewe ile kitu yote nilikuwa nayo nimechigharimia mpaka nimepata kusimama.
While following up on his compensation for the injuries he sustained in the line of duty, which amounted to 691,277 Kenyan shillings, he managed to receive 150,000 Kenyan shillings in February 2019 from the employer.
Waliniambia ningoje insurance itakuja ikiria hiyo nini yote, hiyo ni since 2019, ikiria hiyo nini yote wanipe. Tangu wakati hiyo, nikienda kwa ofisi baada ya Westlands wanafunga, nikienda kwa insurance wananiambia hawanijui.
Since then, the company has neglected him.
Kampuni yenyewe ilinitupa, ikaniacha kwa hospitali. Wangefanya haki, wanipe haki yangu na nione kama naweza jisa. Sio haki kunidhulumu mbele hivi, hata mkiniangalia hivi nidhulumiwe. na wewe uko na nguvu zako zote, nguvu zako zote, na unaweza fanya kazi kama, lakini mimi hakuna baadhi naweza fanya kazi sahi.
He's now appealing to well-wishers to help him raise funds to cater for his medical needs.
Na nikitembea sana, saa ingine kuna ile kitu inakuja kama kisungusungu, naanguka na daktari wameniambia sana niende na hii nini operant nataka nitolewe iweke nini nyingine. Yote hiyo inahitaji pesa.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Christine Matunda.
We hope Richard gets justice. And right from that, young thespians from Kyoto School captivated audiences with their powerful rendition of the Luo folklore, Luanda Magere. This epic tale, steeped in Luo mythology, revolves around the legendary warrior Luanda Magere, known for his impenetrable skin and extraordinary powers. As reviewed in our weekly segment, Cinemas and Theatre, the play masterfully brings to life the hero's journey, his reliance on his shadow as a source of strength, and his ultimate downfall when his secret is exposed.
Captivating performance by Kyoto School students showcases the power of African storytelling in their dramatic adaptation of the Luo folklore Luanda Magere. The play brings to the life the legendary story of the warrior whose strength and unique powers made him a heroic figure in Luo mythology. The story centers around Luanda Magere, the mighty warrior, known for his impenetrable skin and remarkable powers. In the play, Luanda's strength lies in his shadow, an ability that ultimately becomes his downfall when enemies discover his secret. In the original folklore, Luanda's death leads to a time of sorrow, but Busia, the scriptwriter, adds a more hopeful ending to highlight the importance of unity.
I know the story has been told so many times, and with oral literature, you always there's always a truth to tweak any story to the modern day times or happenings or things that are going on. So I felt that this was timely in the sense that what's happening in our country, every election cycle, every 5 years, and it's something that it's progressive. So we have issues of unity, and we need to tell this story, and it's important that it's being told by kids, Gen Alpha, who many assume are out of touch or probably do not know what's happening around, or they're shielded by their parents or the communities around them.
Robinson Mudavadi, the play director, observes that despite the play being done by school children, he was deeply impressed by the quality of the performance, observing that the rehearsals took 2 months to prepare.
It wasn't that easy, as I said, because schools were, some of the kids were from another campus of the same school, so we had to do some rehearsals for music, we had to do rehearsals for the warriors, we have to do rehearsals for those ones who are main, and then at the end of the day, and maybe during the weekends, we just put all of them up together. Yeah.
The students, dressed in vibrant costumes and using symbolic props like shields and spears, delivered strong performances that kept the audiences engaged from start to finish.
So when you direct kids, you have to stoop low to their level because it's a bit technical. but at the end of the day, you have to also make them understand some key stage movements. They should also understand the story, and they should also understand that they are not the ones who are really doing that role, like in terms of those are different characters.
It was a lovely experience because the kids really enjoyed it. Some of them have never done any traditional dances ever before, so it was quite an experience for them. They really enjoyed wearing those sisal skirts, all the warrior regalia and all those things.
The play Luanda Magere is a testament to the enduring power of African storytelling and the ability of young performers to bring these timeless tales to life. Jacqueline Masharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
Luanda Magere, an all-time classic. That's where we take a quick short break, but when we come back, I will be taking you through a couple of more stories, including our business interview segment, where I will be hosting Jane Ohadike, who is the regional head for the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA, on sustainable business practices, and especially in the wake of COP29 that was in Baku, Azerbaijan, a couple of days ago.
Are you thinking about your future? Saving through a registered retirement benefits plan offers amazing benefits that make a difference when it matters most. A registered retirement benefits plan allows you to save up to 20,000 shillings every month tax-free. An investment income from a pension scheme is tax-exempt, meaning your money grows even faster, especially when you add the compound interest. Your retirement benefits provide a basic, reasonable income after your working life, preventing old age poverty and offering contingency funds in cases of ill health, death, or other disruptions. It acts as a safety net upon loss of employment, like during the COVID-19 pandemic, and offers financial protection to your dependents. Plus, it can cover post-retirement medical costs, one of the biggest expenses for retirees. Secure your future and enjoy your retirement to the fullest with a registered pension plan. Plan today for a brighter tomorrow. For more information, visit our website www.rba.go.ke, call our toll-free line 0800-720-300 or email info@rba.go.ke. Secure your future. Secure your peace of mind. RBA, safeguarding your retirement benefits.
His muscle shut nayo. Huku. Wacha tu.
For your information, I do not have any money on me. Niko tu hivyo and the money I have reinvested.
Nakono chu. Mashambiki.
Welcome back, and many thanks for keeping me company. Let's do business. Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome has commended Lands Principal Secretary for increasing revenue collection in the ministry, making it one of the top performing ministries. The CS, who was speaking during the signing of performance contract of PSs, noted that the ministry is committed to doubling the revenue collection in this coming year. This even as she committed to end corruption at the ministry by closing existing loopholes.
In 2022, the Public Investment Committee reported that more than 90% of government lands do not have title deeds, putting them at risk of being grabbed. These include schools, major landmarks like Kenyatta International Convention Center, among others.
And we agreed that the State Department themselves and government agencies will have to look through and give us the data of their property, because they know their property, they know where the challenges are, and then seek for professional registration work or conveyance work for us to produce titles for them.
Most of them, of course, there have been attempted grabbing, and we are working with EACC. If you remember, I think this year, there was a presentation to the president by EACC on the parcels that had been actually recovered. So we are undertaking the process of recovery of any public land that had been grabbed.
Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome says that the ministry is in the process of digitizing all lands transactions to curb fraud involving land deals.
Eradication of corruption is going to be my message at this particular signing ceremony, so that all the departments, the principal secretaries who are the accounting officers, must help me and the president to ensure that every shilling entrusted to the state departments is well spent.
Speaking during the signing of performance contracts by principal secretaries, Wahome says the ministry will double revenue collection in 2025 while sealing loopholes used by cartels to rob the public.
There are loopholes that people who want to raid on the public coffers use through maybe our departments, through people outside there. We will work together as a team to bring it down.
I want to assure you that we'll be able to work together. We'll cascade this to HODs with a view to achieving the targets that you signed with the president.
The CS says the signing of performance contract at the ministry level is aimed at enhancing accountability and check on the deliverables that contribute to the fulfillment of the government's agenda of service delivery. Opito Chemtai for Lunchtime News.
Private sector players have been urged to leverage technology to de-risk operations. According to research, human interactions contribute more than 50% of corrupt deals in the business ecosystem. Governance expert Fatma El-Mawi says lack of ethics characterized by mismanagement and corruption is hampering the growth of Kenya's business sector, derailing foreign direct investments.
A survey by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission indicates that Kenya loses an estimated 608 billion shillings, or 7.8% of the GDP annually to corruption, of which private sector lose an estimated 3 billion shillings daily.
Corruption takes away up to 20% of a business's income.
This is in comparison to 338 trillion shillings lost to corruption globally.
Unethical business practices, actually, they favor the bigger boys, but it's the smaller businesses that get affected. The business is losing, but so is the government. How is the government losing? Because people prefer to work without being formalized. People work without getting licenses. So we are in this together.
We also find that another problem with corruption is that it affects a company's brand. It makes customers, it makes businesses inefficient, and it makes it very difficult for young people to get into entrepreneurship, because if you know that you cannot get into a business because the environment is corrupt, you will not.
Stakeholders attending the Africa Business Ethics Conference in Nairobi are rooting for technology integration to reduce human interaction.
But that needs to be from end to end, so that there's no human interaction or interruption in the process. Also, we need to make sure that the way this digitalization is done, how it's procured transparently, honestly, so that people get value for money.
Further, governance experts are urging the private sector players to build business ethics capacity to enhance global competitiveness of Kenya's products and services. Fatma El-Mawi says money lost through mismanagement and corruption could be redirected to investments aimed at creating jobs and promoting locally produced goods.
We need to make whistleblowing a beneficial thing to do. We need to make sure that people who whistleblow are protected. that their jobs are not at risk, because that is a problem that people don't want to whistleblow, because if you whistleblow today, you lose your job.
But let me tell you, if you actually do your business ethically, research shows that you are able to grow by over 300% than the people who did not work ethically.
Currently, Kenya is ranked 126 out of 180 countries in the 2023 Transparency International Global Corruption Index. Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation has affirmed its commitment of protecting depositors and promoting financial stability in Kenya through deposit insurance. KDIC is currently overseeing 19 institutions that have been placed under receivership or issued with winding orders. The agency is currently undertaking a public sensitization campaign in Meru town, where our reporter Yusuf Farah Yusuf is now joining us with more details, and also joined by Miri Kirago, the Director of Internal Audit at KDCI.
System. That is why we are committed to deepening our engagement with you, our stakeholders, to ensure that you have the information and the support you need even as you make critical decisions about your finances and how to bank it. On behalf of the leadership of the corporation, I commit that the insights gathered from this meeting will enhance our services and communication strategies. In closing, I assure you that KDIC is dedicated to being a proactive partner in your financial journey. We will continue to engage with communities across Kenya, even as we invite you to continue reaching out to us anytime with your questions, concerns, or suggestions beyond this forum. Of critical importance are issues around the Kenya Finance Bank in liquidation and attendance securities. I encourage those whose relatives may have been affected to check their records and forward us any evidence to facilitate successful payouts. Thank you once again for your time, your trust, and your engagement. Together we can ensure a more secure financial future for all Kenyans. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you.
Wakisema kameramani.
Very well. Thank you, Farah, for that report, and for more, of course, in our subsequent bulletin. And now we are in our interactive segment where we are looking at sustainable business practices. And you do remember that we had the COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, where, of course, we were able to agree on some things, but of course didn't agree in a number of them. But we are also looking at the sustainable business practices, and for that we are joined by Jane Ohadike, who is the regional head, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. You must have heard of it, ACCA. Karibu sana, Jane. Welcome.
Asante.
Now, first things first, you have celebrated as ACCA 120 years since its inception. Kudos for that.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you can say something about it?
Yes, ACCA has an amazing story of transformation and inclusion. Mm-hmm. When we were first founded in 1904, we had 8 accountants that, resolved to change the world by bringing down barriers for professional education and career. Mm-hmm. So now we have a growing family of over a quarter of a million members and over 500,000 future members, and that's a large number. Yeah. Accountants are they have a very unique position to really drive change, and they also play a very central role in sustainable development. So I think this is very important, and we've really driven that impact.
Okay, and now how adoption of sustainable disclosures is driving investments and in sustainable businesses and the net zero transition, and how urgent is the need for this?
Well, essentially, I think we have to understand what's really driving investors. Investors want their money to be safe. They want to invest in sustainable businesses. They want to know that they can repatriate their money. So essentially, the International Sustainability Standards Board actually designed the standards to provide information to investors to really understand how organizations are being impacted by climate and also sustainability risks. So this is one of the reasons, that, sustainability reporting is quite urgent. And we also find, like, for example, in Africa, we're beginning to see that this urgency is, really playing out. We see the Kigali International Financial Center, for example, and the Nigeria Lagos International Financial Center also being established to really drive awareness in terms of what organizations need to do. And this is really something that's really driving the urgency for sustainability reporting.
Any way that we can be able to speed up and for example, it becoming universal, global? Talking about Kigali, Nigeria, we're not talking about Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania.
Of course, the international financial centers are more focused around the private sector, but then you have regulation as well, also being driven by different jurisdictions, government authorities, where we're beginning to see policies being put in place from the government side to really drive organizations to do the right thing. So, for example, we have ISPAC, who, just to congratulate them for a successful implementation of their sustainability reporting roadmap. And this is one of the things that's driving compliance of companies. And we're going to see a lot more of that as, the months roll by. They've got a voluntary stage of the reporting, and they also have the mandatory stage. The voluntary stage really looks at, years beginning from 1st of January 2024 all the way to 2026, where any organization can actually opt voluntarily to report. And of course, they have to go through a readiness assessment test. And then you now have the mandatory stage, which really starts around 2027, where we're beginning to, bring in the larger organizations, the public interest entities, and of course that flows into the, SMEs as well, to really bring them in. And I believe this is really going to drive the urgency of sustainability reporting.
And a recent report by your organization, ACCA, actually shows that almost half of business globally are failing to explain how sustainability is reflected in their operations. And about 20% of businesses and organizations are prepared for climate-related disasters. For this, could you kindly explain this report?
So,
in a nutshell.
So essentially, this goes back to what's happening in the policy space. When business fail to reflect sustainability in their reporting or in their operations, it's either due to a lack of regulation or a lack of enforcement of regulation. And the more we see countries, for example, we have the early adopters. Nigeria is one of them. Kenya is one of them. Ghana, we have quite a few other countries. We also even have different government ministries really establishing regulation that's driving that. So you're going to see quite a bit more of organizations beginning to reflect that as the months and the years roll by.
I began by saying you're celebrating 120 years since your formation. What has been the impact of relations in terms of skills development and also advancement in business skills?
So, I started out by saying we had an amazing story of inclusion, and we were the first to actually introduce integrated reporting into our core qualification. We were also the first to introduce social and environmental measures into our core syllabus. Now, a lot of this basically entails that sustainability is deeply embedded in our qualification. And I must add at this point that due to our relationships with different national bodies and different stakeholders in government, we've been responsive to the feedback that we've had from them, and this has enabled us to develop certain skills and qualifications that help not just our ACCA members, but also our stakeholders to really begin to embed the skills that they need. So we really believe that in response to the global demand for the professional accountants by organizations. We recently, in September, launched our pioneering professional diploma in sustainability reporting. And this is available to all financial professionals at all levels. And we've been able to also set some agendas around accounting for a better world, and this also guides our professionals and our peers across, globally and also across Africa in terms of what is required. So all of these are really being built in. We further have in terms of really embedding sustainability reporting into businesses. We also published our sustainability reporting preparation guide, which speaks to 8 different cycle steps to guide professionals in terms of skilling them up in understanding what they have to consider to effectively report on sustainability reporting. And this is one of the things and one of the areas where we're building the skills. So it's work in progress. We also have initiatives which we are working collaboratively with regional organizations such as the Pan-African Federation of Accountants. As you know, the Pan-African Federation of Accountants is the regional voice organization leading PAOs across the board. We have initiated a platform where ACCA is providing expertise as well as research capability to learn what the experiences of early adopters are. And we're providing this as input to the PAFA's Center of Excellence and Forum, which constitutes regional, global, and national policymakers and regulators, to really inform what sort of investments and also what sort of capacity building to focus on. So this is really where we're leveraging our skills and our global expertise to drive change in sustainability reporting.
Jane Ohadike, thank you indeed so much. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Of course, a number of lessons that we can pick up as the African continent from Baku, Azerbaijan, the COP29. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but thank you so much indeed. I've been hosting the ACCA regional head, that is the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, Jane Ohadike, on sustainable business practices. But now we shift gears to matters sport, where more than 100 female golfers are expected to compete, in this weekend's Chairman's Puta tournament at the Vet Lab Golf Club, in one of the tournaments that will drive forward the club's agenda of funding development plans. The club is in the process of expanding its capacity to host 4 more other sporting disciplines.
Some of the greatest female golfers in the region will converge this weekend at the Vet Lab to compete in the Chairman's Puta tournament. The event is a platform for showcasing talent and potential of female golfers, as well as an opportunity to address the challenges they face. Discussions surrounding gender equality in sports, access to resources, and the need for greater representation in leadership roles will be at the forefront, encouraging stakeholders to invest in golfing.
We are doing well because it is just the other day that the women were allowed even to play and to have their own association, the Kenya Ladies Golf Union. But I still believe that though it started as a very paternalistic kind of game, women have come up. And like this club, we have over 130 active golfers.
As Kenya prepares to host the landmark competition, the spotlight shines not only on the sport, but also on the remarkable women leading the charge in transforming the golfing landscape.
We have big plans for the future. As I've said, we hope to have more activities. We hope to have more facilities, and like tennis, bowling, and even table tennis. And we also hope to have a children's corner, because our hope is that this club can also be more family-oriented. And we can see a lot of excitement, especially with the juniors and the young parents that are joining our club.
The VetLab Sports Club tournament in Nairobi will symbolize the growing influence of women in a traditionally male-dominated arena and highlights the importance of female leadership in promoting sport and empowering future generations. With the roster featuring some of Kenya's most accomplished female golfers, the tournament serves as a powerful reminder of the strides women have made in the sport, both on and off the course.
Golf is a competition where there's no age limit, there is no gender, we don't choose who to play or who not to play. It is a game that we believe, even at my age, a senior can come and win. Therefore, it's a game that builds society. It builds people who would ordinarily not play any other game. And health-wise, it builds us. But more importantly is that we also give to the society in terms of our contributions.
Their leadership is crucial in breaking down barriers and fostering a culture of inclusivity within the sport.
Veteran Samuel Njomo was at his very best to beat Kennedy Otieno in the lightweight category bout in the main event of the Nairobi Fight Night December edition held last night in Westlands. Jane Kavulani overcame Susan Adeso in a closely contested featherweight bout, which was a first ever women's fight at the event.
In a battle of two greatest men in the boxing ring, veteran fighter Samuel Njomo's experience and composure earned him a split decision victory over his opponent Kennedy Otieno, solidifying his status as a standout in the Nairobi Fight Night series. In the first ever women's fight at the Nairobi Fight Night, Jane Kavulani overcame Susan Adeso in a closely contested bout, with the judges awarding Kavulani a split decision victory. Eric Mwangi set the tone for the night with an impressive performance, stopping Salim Odingo with a first-round TKO. In the second bout, Kenya Defence Forces Lawrence Okuta defeated Bruce Omondi with a decisive TKO. Dalmas Kialo defeated debutant Samuel Matthew in an exciting bantamweight bout on unanimous decision after 4 rounds. The co-main event saw Samuel Kogeluk beat Collins Nyakwaka also on unanimous decision.
Further afield, Arsenal coach Mikel Arteta hailed his team following their 2-0 win over Manchester United in the English Premier League match at the Emirates Stadium last night. Manchester City broke their 4-game losing streak after they overcame Nottingham Forest 3-0 as leaders Liverpool were held to a 3-0 entertaining draw by Newcastle. Chelsea hammered Southampton 5-1 in another match. Very well, and that report about Arsenal's big win over Manchester United. We wrap up KBC Lunchtime News. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Ben Troy Njue. Lucy Maura has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Don't forget to check out our social media platforms for this news plus much more, including our app for entertainment and also programming. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon.
His muscle shut nayo. Huku. Wacha tu.
For your information, I do not have any money on me. Niko tu hivyo. And the money I have reinvested.